How do I become a Pilates teacher is a question I get asked quite a lot. So in today's blog post or vlog, that's what I'm going to be discussing. So there's lots of ways to become a Pilates teacher, and it's not actually a protected title. So not that I agree with it, but you don't actually need a qualification to be a Pilates teacher. It's just that a lot of the studios and a lot of gyms will ask for a qualification, rightly so, and also your insurance company will ask for a qualification. So there's a wide range of qualifications available, and the first thing is to actually decide what you want to do with your qualifications. So, you know, you've got all this equipment that you can get qualified in, mat work, and I highly recommend probably just starting with a mat qualification first and then building up your repertoire from there. And Joseph Pilates, so yes, all this equipment looks really fancy, but actually all of this equipment that we use in Pilates was designed to make the mat work much better and to help the person's understanding of what you're meant to be doing in your body. So, so often people think, oh, you've got to be advanced to use a reform or something, and it isn't. That's actually not the case at all. So you can get comprehensive courses, which is everything. So all the Pilates equipment, mat, studio equipment, and that can range from probably about $4,000 and upwards, and it can take a year to finish that. So like I said, it really depends what you want to do with your qualification. And I always suggest start with a smaller qualification, because you might start teaching and think actually you really love the mat work, or you just want to work one-to-one with the mat rather than you go through your whole training program. So let me tell you a little story. So when I started my training, in my head, I was going to teach private clients. I did not want to teach classes at all. I was so shit scared to stand up in front of people and teach. But what happened was that I actually really started loving the classes and the energy and the vibe I get from a class. That, you know, the way we teach in our studio, well, we're not miserable people. We like to have a giggle and a laugh in the class. So, and now I don't teach any private clients. So, and Paul loves teaching the clients because he has rehabilitation background and anatomy background. So he likes to incorporate both into his one-to-one sessions. And sometimes someone might need a massage instead, some manual handling, so to speak. So, you know, until you've actually had some experience offering your services, you don't know really what you're going to get a niche for. And likewise, I actually went and did an antenatal and postnatal qualification. And if anyone knows me, I'm not into babies or anything like that. And I taught one course and I've never taught it again. So before you go and spending thousands and thousands of pounds, it's start with one thing, which I would probably suggest is a mat one, because it opens up all the doors. And also speaking is you don't technically need a qualification to teach the equipment. You know, if you teach a reformer, it is part of the Pilates equipment. So if you've done a Pilates course, you are qualified to teach that. But you can go and do workshops for your CPD, for your continued professional development, or you can do self-study. So technically speaking, you don't need separate qualifications to use the studio equipment. So most studios and gyms within the UK will ask for a level 3 course, a level 3 teacher course. Now there's different providers. I think there's, I can never remember that. I want to say Active Skills or Active IQ. They run courses, and YMCA run courses, and there's a lot of other different courses. But a lot of the bigger brands, like Body Control, they still have to fulfill the same requirements that a studio like ours has to fulfill. There's a minimum standard that we need to meet. So when you look at the criteria, it's exactly the same in most of the places. I think STOT might be slightly different in terms of that, but I haven't done a STOT course, so and I haven't really looked into theirs. So it can be quite confusing because there's a lot of brands and stuff out there, but what you need is a level 3 qualification. Now, YMCA, can't speak for Active IQ because I don't know, but YMCA used to run a level 3 Pilates teacher diploma, which is now being phased out. So also just check, like when you're looking at courses, are they running the level 3 practitioner, which is a new one, which has also been endorsed by SIMSA. And SIMSA are a chartered institute of sports, some management and sports activity. So the courses have been changed slightly. So how do you become a teacher? It's, go and find a place and go and do a course, which is a short answer. There are a lot of variables to look at. It's like, what can you afford? Where are you situated? Has the course got, how much experience have the teachers got? Are they just a training provider or do they run a studio? Does the course offer just the minimum requirement? So what I will say is, with the YMCA courses, you do not need any other qualification before you do the course. So have a look, because there are some places that will say, you need to come and do a foundation course first, and then you can do the level 3. But that's not a requirement of YMCA. We don't ask for any other qualifications. Like, there's no prior qualification you need to come and do with us before we allow you on a course. So just check that, because I think that's quite sneaky. The other thing you want to notice is if there are courses charging £800 for a level 3 Pilates diploma, and there's also courses charging £4,000 for a level 3 Pilates diploma. And something that maybe you understand or you don't understand is that you will get what you pay for. And sadly, we get quite a few people who come to us for more confidence building because they've gone with a cheaper school. And I'm not saying they're all dodgy. Can I use that word? I'm not saying they're all like that. But there's certain boxes that we need to tick before you get a certificate. So some courses will just do that. They will just make sure that you tick the boxes. But really, when you're dealing with people's body in the way that Pilates does, it's a very rehabilitative kind of exercise, we feel that it's a lot more in depth than the minimum requirements. So, if you're looking at a course and it's £900, you're going to get £900 worth of value. If you're looking at a £4,000 course, you're going to get a £4,000 worth of value. So it really just depends on you and what you want. You may just want a tick the box course. That's what I call them. You just tick the boxes. I've done courses like that, not particularly in Pilates, but other courses I've just needed the qualification. I already had the knowledge and the background. It was just for insurance purposes I needed a certificate. So I've just found anything on the internet that I could quickly do that would give me the certificate. So you might be that kind of person, and then that might be suitable for you, as you might have that background. But if you've never done any teacher training, Pilates teacher training, I would highly recommend finding a course that is quite in-depth. Okay? So that is how to become a teacher. It's a case of looking on the internet, finding a load of schools, speaking to the schools. I've got another video on what to look for in training schools, but speak to the school, find out the teacher's education, their background, their knowledge. What resources do you get with your course? So what learning materials do you get? Ask if you can see their books, or if they've got any additional videos or anything like that. Just find out exactly what you're going to get. And then, of course, there's the cost, and the cost is always, it's down to you. But I will say is go with what is slightly out of your comfort zone. So, so let's say for me, if I was, I'm on a yoga teacher training course now, which I've paid $5,000 for. It's a lot of money, but I want to make sure that I can get the best training that I can afford, because that's not spending money, it's investing in yourself and your business and your teaching. So always go with the most that you can afford. And that doesn't mean go with us, it's just whoever you go with. I don't know what your circumstances are like, okay? I think that's all about, how to go about finding a school, about how to become a Pilates teacher. I'm going to do another video on the actual process of becoming a teacher, like the elements within a course. So I hope that was helpful. Maybe a little bit waffly, but we sat here having a coffee. I may have had a few extra coffees. So I'll take care, and I'll see you soon.